So I just did a big scan of the Nasdaq Composite Index, 3,200 stocks, to try and find the best looking stocks. Trying to find the next Nvidia stock I bought just under a year ago that's tripled, and so trying to find that next stock. And there's enough, it occurred to me that there's enough in the Nasdaq. I was looking for stocks that have gone up more than 50%, and if we look at the Nasdaq 100 index here, we see the long-term picture, the medium-term picture, and the short-term picture. And interesting, the Nasdaq on the medium term's got 16% upside target. If I look at the long term, we've got 22.5. So what we find is that in the Nasdaq there are lots of stocks that don't have that 50% upside, but will have a little bit less. And in fact, I remember when I scanned for Nvidia um, just over a year ago, they didn't have an upside target of tripling. It's just that the targets were there and they went beyond the targets. So I thought I'd also just take a look at the Nasdaq 100 and just do a quick scan on that, and it might be quicker. I'm using the DTN IQ feed, and so we know that the Nasdaq market has got quite a lot of upside potential. So that must mean that there are stocks in the Nasdaq that have got even more potential than the market, and that's what we're always looking for. And if I say, well, I want to set a 30% target, quite interestingly, I could go through all the stocks, and look at those targets. But what I'm looking for is this next sort of performance. Which stock is going to do that next? And so by doing that, we can just go through the stocks. And so if I look at a stock like Microsoft, for example, a stock I already own, the targets here on the 1% chart, if I did a scan, is 27.7, and I'm going to scan for 30%. So do I want to actually miss a stock that's going to go up 27%, and by doing a scan for 30%, I might miss that. So it's interesting just to think around that. But if we do the scan, and in fact I've already written a scan which is 30% upside, and I can just show it to you. Really very simple. I can just edit the scan, looking for a double top breakout with a target between 30 and 100%. So it's that simple. So all I have to do is go and run that scan, and I'm going to run it on the Bloomberg chart. I'm doing it on 1%. I could even do it on 0.5%. I might want the chart to be a bit more sensitive and to arrive at the answer more quickly. Now you can see it's just running through these 100 charts one at a time. Again, it's log scale point and figure, very complex calculation, and then the price targets also quite complex. So the computer is really working hard in a matter of 10 seconds or so to find these stocks. And so it's run through, it's found the first condition, and we now start to see the second condition, which is actually the target. The first condition is the breakout, the second. So there are 16 stocks. 16 stocks, and all I want to do straight away is go and look at those 16 stocks. And so that's a good looking stock, but just one target. Again, a lot of these will have single targets, and you'll notice that. So I'm liking Celgene because it's got multiple upside targets, what I like to see, although not quite making new highs. And we see Costco here, again, multiple upside targets, not 50%, but 32 and 24. Costco looking good with multiple upside targets, making new highs. eBay, the same, good upside targets here, and making new highs. Facebook, a stock I already own, upside target of 40% and making new highs. So that's looking quite good. Henry Shen, we're seeing here, 37% upside. And so these are the 16 stocks that I will be looking at in terms of making a decision. And what I can then do is take this list and copy it to my template, which you can, Priceline is another good looking one there with double targets, and I can just see that some of them are recoveries. I'm not so keen on recoveries, want to see breakouts to new highs. So what I can do is then just take that list, say okay, let's create a list. So I can just save the list, and why don't we call it Nasdaq 100 top 16. And now what I can do, I'll have that list, and it's going to now create that list, and I can go to my my Q feed and go to look for that list in my real time. Nasdaq 100 top 16, and so now these are my 16 charts. I like this ability to now look at them on another view. So here's the weekly chart, long term, that's the 1% point figure that produced this result, my short term, medium term targets, and then my short term charts. So just timing wise, I can see, okay, there's a 9% upside in the short term. That looks pretty nice. And so it's just a case of going through each of these stocks and deciding whether it looks good on all three time frames for your timing. So this is really the way to find the next NVIDIA. Not many ways that you can scan for stocks that have got that upside target potential, and that's the beauty of Updata and the point and figure charts. No other system does this log scale point and figure like this. Why not take a trial, download for yourself? You can also take a free trial of DTN, so you can just do this on UK or US stocks. The choice is yours, but this is the technique for doing it.